At first, it was a denial of reality. I thought what was in Wuhan would stay in Wuhan. At the restaurant in the Best Western, on the golf course, my lunch partner and I were interrupted by a call. There was an emergency meeting to get the study abroad students in Italy home. Well, sure, it is in Europe, but it will never get to the US. And as New York City lined up refrigerated trucks as temporary morgues, I thought to myself, it will never get all the way up here to Canton. And then on March 11th, 2020, the National Basketball Association shut down its season after its players were becoming infected. That's when my denial left and reality took over. While in an Aldi parking lot, you are getting a quarter from out under the armrest and you witness a mother thoroughly sanitizing the groceries she had just bought. Should you do the same? Then you enter and see bare shelves for the first time in your life with limits on how many cartons of eggs and milk you can buy. Through the new clear plastic sneeze guards, the cashier, out of habit, asks you pleasantly, "Did you find everything you were looking for?" No, I didn't, you reply. Don't worry, the next truck will be here soon. And you look out the window toward the highway and wonder what will happen if that truck doesn't come. You contemplate converting your entire backyard into a garden. I love change, but when I'm initiating it and when I'm pushing for it, I don't like change when it is forced upon me. I never thought my ministry would involve researching and buying computers and USB microphones and speakers and professional lighting and smartphones and 4K camcorders, Bluetooth earbuds, Zoom, Manycam, and teleprompter apps and tripods. What does it mean for our progressive religious movement when I hear the stories of clergy resigning from their positions, not to go to another church, just to take time off? In lieu of meet in my office pastoral care, I started a walking ministry. I delivered tulips and daffodils. I knelt down and talked through the cracks of nursing home windows. And I still have the regret of not being able to say a final goodbye to one congregant. But through all this change, my wife and I taught our almost 6-year-old son to read and potty trained our 2-year-old, well, mostly potty trained. There were all these awkward social situations of how and who to be in a pod with, new etiquettes for walking down the sidewalk. Who will step aside first? If you are with a baby or a small child, I've learned you have the right of way. If it is adults, the one with the dog has the right of way. And please take it personally. Don't take it personally. If I cross to the other side of the street, I just don't want to collide with your aerosol. Amidst all the Trump trauma, the Capitol siege, the police killing of unarmed people of color, it seems we can't control too much at all. We've been spoiled for so long with relatively nothing breaking up our lives. But what we can do is have good routines and rituals. A Sunday morning sacred hour where we can pray, meditate, sing songs, and regain the perspective of just how old and new and big and small life really is. We can encounter the reverence of red maple blossoms on the hiking path. The ancient wisdom of the Tao is as relevant now as it was back then. The truly wise one sees things as they are without trying to control them. And when our lives do not happen as planned, the wise one adapts and improvises. What we can control is our inner life, our religious routines, our habits of trust, and our practices of peace. Now, those who've gotten sick, those who've died, those who have died of loneliness, those who have lost jobs, and all of us, the living who have been disrupted, are all victims of this pandemic. And all the inequalities of American life has become more and more transparent. But our government did help develop and distribute a vaccine with no one clamoring about socialized medicine, yet still many refuse to get this vaccine. For me, the experience of getting vaccinated felt patriotic, orderly, beautiful, and clean, like voting. To get through this pandemic, I have been leaning more and more into my network of ministerial colleagues. I listen to the guidance from the UUA more than I ever have. I collaborate with congregations more in the last year than I've ever had in my entire ministry. And I have found my faith in Unitarian Universalism strengthened, this balance of reason and spirit. Our neural pathways get cemented in the past. It's easier to close up than to open, easier to deny than to just see things as they are. But opening up, we are roses, and the sun burns the snows of fear away. And I'm not worried so much for the younger generations. They will rebound quickly with their neural plasticity, their young minds. I'm more concerned for us, the adults. It will take serious thinking to determine risk along with the mature process, the maturation process of recognizing grief and trauma and disruption. Knowing things may never quite be normal again. Time is always moving into change. And there is a time for being at risk, a time for safety, a time for closure, a time for reopening, a time for exhaustion, and a time to watch rain clang on smooth rivers. A time to accept events as they are, to remain at the center, open to the peace of our faith. Amen, and blessed be.